Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about three elements of American politics: danger, inside, and outside. All right, so right now we're in the middle of coronavirus, and coronavirus is what is coronavirus from an American politics perspective? All right, what is the magnitude of this event? So I have. So basically, I have very much, my life, the number one, until coronavirus occurred, the number one most echoing political event that had ever occurred in my lifetime by far was 9/11. And the reason why was, it was the death of 3,000 American people. Just absolutely staggering that could even occur. And the reason why is, a lot of people say, hey, a lot of people complain about what we spend on the U.S. military. No complaints here from Scott Garibay. I know exactly what we're getting from America, from the American expenditure on the military. No boots on the ground in America. There has not been a foreign boot of any soldier who wasn't invited here on this, in America. I think since the 1850s, right? In nearly 200 years, right? Like, America is impregnable. We are completely immune from traditional military invasion. And 9/11 was a very odd, one-off, very non-repeatable event. It was catastrophic in American history. And I thought nothing that I would ever live through would make 9/11 a footnote. And I really think coronavirus is doing it. I think coronavirus is I thought it would be the most politically relevant event within my children's lifetime. I'm like, okay. But the reality is, I think this is the most politically relevant event to happen since the Civil War for American politics. And the reason why is it affects every single American. And I can't tell you how important that is. 9/11, all Americans were upset by it, right? But it didn't hit home for most Americans. Very few of them, it was 3,000 people. Quite a few people knew somebody who was impacted. But most Americans, it was us looking at an event that happened here and saying, "Oh, that's terrible. I wish that hadn't happened," right? But it didn't impact them directly, personally, right? World War II. World War II is a huge historical event, right? And I swear, I think it's going to be a footnote to COVID-19, right? And the reason why is this is a worldwide pandemic happening at a time when the world is able to communicate worldwide instantaneously. And that is just, there's nothing like this. And even World War II, we were struck in Pearl Harbor, and that's what got us into the war. But there were no boots on the ground for when the entire world went to war. There still wasn't a single foreign soldier's, single international soldier's boot laid on U.S. soil. Not one, right? You cannot put boots on the ground in America if you are not an American soldier, or you are not invited by the U.S. military, right? It's impossible, right? You can't do it, right? And I can't tell you the magnitude of that, right? It just means that even World War II was watched as a spectacle by Americans. It was something that happened across the sea, and maybe rationing, it might have affected them, but coronavirus has affected every single American simultaneously, diminishing their lives and really making America very, very aware that it is not immune to a global pandemic. And America is so powerful that things that can destroy other nations can be a minor breeze, when it hits the shores of America. But that's not the case with coronavirus. Coronavirus struck every American simultaneously and really diminished their lives and humbled Americans by the millions, and said, no one's lives remains untouched. This is not a spectacle for everyone. Everyone Americans' life will change, right? Not in a small way, but in a major way, right? And that is absolutely huge, right? So one of the things that's really interesting to me is just seeing how this is unfolded, right? So coronavirus sweeps in, and I think we're now past 100,000 life exits in America from coronavirus. Staggering. It's a larger number than any war. It surpasses than any war other than World War II and the Civil War. It surpasses our losses in Vietnam. That is in less than a year, and frankly, in less than 4 months. In less than 4 months, we've seen more life exits from coronavirus than life exits occurred from Vietnam. That is a staggering number. Okay, so everybody was like, "Okay, we get this. This is very serious. We need to shut this down at the root." All right, and so that means everybody right now, you do not go outside, and we did that for 3 months. That's another thing is, where are the good names for this stuff? Right? So one, I've been trying to get 316 rolling. Nobody's using it. It's dead. Can we call them the masked months? Right? So the masked months, these 3 months where we were masked, and the masked months are still going on. We're in the middle of them now, and we're hoping that they will not be the masked years, right? Like that we won't be wearing masks for years, right? But we're in the mask months now, right? And the mask months were where we stayed inside, and we said, okay, the outside is dangerous. We can't go into the outside because we could infect others or be infected, right? So in the mask months, the outside was dangerous. The outside was dangerous, and you stayed inside. But now we've been in this like 3 months, right? And we've had 3 masked months, and people are saying, wait a second, the danger is not outside, the danger is inside. And there's become a shift, and that shift is, listen, if we stay inside and we all continue to huddle and there's no activity, our economy will die. And our economy is integral to our health as a nation, right? So now we're not just talking about people dying because they went outside. We're looking for a situation where you could have a life exit because you stayed inside and you did not get the engine of American economy working. So we've reached a point where people are saying, is the inside more dangerous than the outside? And many, many, many Americans are saying, yes, the inside has now become more dangerous than the outside. If we do not adventure out into the world, then our way of life as a nation will end, and we could die as a nation. That is a huge shift, right? That is a huge conversation that the American people have been having with themselves and with their own government. The problem is the communication is very poor, and there is so much political division. It's incredible to me that these incredibly human concerns have become political concerns. It would be really nice if we really could come together and rely on honesty and logic. And honestly, I think a lot of people are like, well, let's just listen to the scientists, but it's just not that simple anymore. Many people believe that the scientists have included agenda into their science rather than just raw numbers and raw data, and that's why you see so much pushback against science. I really think the interesting thing here is the question that has arisen. Which is more dangerous, the outside or the inside, right? And that's what Americans are deciding right now. What am I for? I'm for better communication. I want people to really strive to listen to each other and to make this decision unanimously as Americans. That's what I stand for. And I weep for our nation, and I pray, and that's where I'm at right now. No thoughts, just prayers. I am praying for each and every one of you. I'm praying for our nation, and I'm praying that the American people can speak clearly with the American government and speak clearly with other American people and come out with a solution where we can all have a safe inside and a safe outside. That's what I'm for. What are you for? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.